Hi again. Today I wanted to answer one of the questions from the comments I got in one of my videos. And the question was asked by Autumn Green. And the question was, could you please share any thoughts or insights on how to overcome the pain when your TF or catalyst chooses another and completely blocks you out? I've been on this journey for many, many years and have become a changed woman since my awakening catapulted into this when we met instantly. He's getting married this year, and I feel like what the hell was point of it all? Thank you. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because I believe that this topic of pain, it will be with you along the journey. There is no way to avoid it anyway. And the whole experience is meant to teach you how to manage the pain, how to face it, how to treat it as a part of the experience, because we have to embrace dualities, master those dualities here to be able to stay in the present and not escape, not run away from the experiences, but just really embrace them with courage, just to be able to see the reality as it is and also to see the big picture of the entire journey. So I prepared some points that I believe will be very helpful in getting through this painful situation and managing your pain, probably finding or observing it from a different perspective. So the first point would be that our pain, it's one of the emotions that we can feel along the journey. So we as a souls on earth, we want to experience the plethora of those vibrations, emotions, emotional states. And pain, as sad as may seem, this is just one expression of the emotion that can be experienced here. So there is a reason why certain experiences come to our life for the sake of experiencing the wholeness of the given situation. So if there is a situation in our life that comes as painful, that means that your soul had to experience the pain in order to grow. So, running away from any emotions that are caused by the situation that were orchestrated by the universe, by the energies, will be causing you delays in your process, because you're kind of trying to escape what was originally planned by your soul just to help you with your journey, with your evolution. So that's just the first word of encouragement. Just really not be afraid to dive into those uncomfortable moments, uncomfortable feelings, because we as humans, we have very strong protective mechanisms against something that is not comfortable, against pain. We like to run away from it, and we would like to shut it down, but the nature of the pain is you cannot shut it down. You really have to process that, allow yourself to really dive deep, embrace it, maybe analyze it, like really take it into parts, sit with it, and just, if you feel like you're reaching some kind of a deepness, just reach it, reach this lowest point, because after reaching the lowest point, that's what your soul wanted to experience. So once you stop this resistance into uncomfortable emotions, you're kind of purifying the whole picture of the situation, because this pain that you're really resisting, it tries to transform you, it tries to bring you this reality as a wholeness. It tries to give you the whole spectrum of the experience as a twin flame. And it's just here on earth we see those painful experiences. It's something that it's not wished for. We are not looking out for those negative sides, but we tend to forget that in this duality world we have to see things as, yes, as good or bad, but we cannot cherry pick. Like, we just really have to face whatever is presented to us. Either it's nice, either it's pleasant, or it's unpleasant and painful. I'm speaking from this maybe higher perspective, that it's, you have to silence this human nature for a bit and be courageous enough to face any experience that comes to you, but fully. If you're currently going through the bubble phase, those positive experience, embrace it fully. But at the same time, if you're in a separation and someone chooses different life path, maybe with another person, maybe on their own, but just you're out of this picture, you really have to embrace it and live through that. See how it makes you feel, and just accept that the pain, this is the part that makes you human. It's completely okay to experience those kind of things. And one thing that I would encourage is just don't try to find explanations for why person did that or didn't do that, why they chose different person, why they didn't choose me. Oh, maybe they have the reasons. All this analysis of what other person is doing, what's in their head, this is their private case. Unless they want to share with you from their personal perspective, please don't go into anyone's head, because that will just divert your focus from your journey. So allow people to make decisions and allow them to take on their individual path on this journey. I was mentioning about this reality check and bringing yourself to reality. We tend to avoid the pain. We tend to maybe put the blinders on our eyes just not to see reality as it is. So by accepting the pain of the separation, of maybe ending the connection, because sometimes that's what it's supposed to happen, the connection has to end. And it's not up to us to say, oh, maybe it's ended for a month or a year, for some definite period. Maybe it's ended forever, for an entire lifetime. And again, this is really not our thing to decipher. All we have to do is accept if something is ending, embrace the ending fully, accept that that's current reality, that you have to continue your journey on your own, but know that you're capable, that you really can do it, and you will be having a lot of people on your way, on your path to help you. But you really need to digest this painful and grieving period. And I'm really encouraging from this perspective of someone who really sit in the pain, but I was able to experience this transformative powers, like really a big release after accepting that, okay, that's my reality. Like, yes, separation happened, but what can I do as a next step? Maybe as a reminder from my own perspective, I gave the freedom to a person I was connected with. I respected the choices, and I realized that yes, we are making the choices for ourselves on this journey. And still, some people don't agree with that, but we have free will. If someone doesn't choose the soul evolution in this lifetime, this is their own free will. So it's really very freeing once you see those things from this perspective. It's like, we are not clinging to each other here. We are not meant to put the handcuffs on someone and make them stay with you if they don't want to stay with you. This is also part of this acceptance, accept that maybe we were just not good match for someone, and we cannot make other people feel a certain way. Sometimes it's related to our own individual traumas, and sometimes it can be purely mismatch. There can be some lack of compatibility. So yes, the connection happened, but in the long run, it was not meant to last. So really, maybe giving yourself the chance to accept any scenario that your journey can unfold, and accept that some of those connections are really meant to just trigger you, catalyze you, and give you this opportunity to do the inner work and really reach the higher state of consciousness. I mentioned a little bit about this transformative power of pain, and I'm pretty sure that for someone who already have been through this stage, maybe you can confirm in the comments your experiences. But once you're able to allow this part of the twin flame experience to go through you, and you're no longer resisting, it's like you're giving the universe green light to really put you through, give you the completeness of this experience. So immediately you can feel the sense of bliss that you've accomplished something, like you've entered the next stage, like you've finalized some process. And that's exactly what you're meant to be. If you want to go through the separation period the proper way, you cannot run away from any single emotion that is associated with being in a separation, being abandoned. If that's what you're meant to experience, this abandonment and deep sadness and fear to be alone, face it, face how it feels, but also at the same time know that there is a limit to those uncomfortable emotions. Like we can get through that, and once you get through that, you're getting a lot of strength to face any possible situations in the future. It gives you a lot of freedom, because you know you're meant to experience here on this planet. So you can really tackle all those new situations, new connections, maybe old connections, but everything will be made from this place of courage, because you know you can go through that and you can embrace anything that comes your way. The person asked that someone was getting married and someone was not available, they didn't choose themselves. I touched base that it's really giving someone freedom of choice. But at the same time, it always puzzles me why we tend to forget about ourselves, and why we really try to pursue someone and try to be with someone who openly doesn't choose us and doesn't choose the connection itself. Because the nature of the soul connections, but really any relationship, is this two-sided communication, exchange, mutual respect, openness, and it has to go through both ways. And maybe it's a matter of self-worth, that we like to knock on a closed door and someone already closed them, but we tend to knock longer, maybe with this hope that someone changes their mind, that they will rethink their actions, or maybe they will rethink the argument, whatever is the scenario. But I would give an advice that treat anyone's actions as a definite truth. Don't second guess someone else's actions, and actions really speak for themselves. If someone tells you directly, I really have to go, we have to separate, trust that that's what's exactly happening. They are not having second thoughts. If they had, they would contact you, they would talk with you openly, they would like to work things through. If someone is choosing different path, that means that their energy is withdrawn. They would not put any single percent towards the connection with you. So there is no such thing as one-sided soul connections, because the energy would be wasted. The only way to re-maintain soul connections is to have this constant and mutual exchange of energies, because in other ways you're just wasting your precious energy. So it's getting dispersed, it doesn't have a proper flow. So maybe just respect your energy, but also respect yourself. Don't chase after someone who openly doesn't choose you. You choose yourself, and then you will find this self-confidence that you deserve to be treated with respect, and you deserve to have a mutual conversation and mutual interest in each other. Another point to see is maybe to start treating it as a redirection towards different stage of the journey, towards this really solitary experience. And I don't mean to say that this is a lonely part of the experience, it's more individual. And if you enter this next stage of separation after you surrendered and you've sit with your pain and you've transformed yourself, allowed this reality to come, and you accepted that, okay, that's a current state of the affairs, and I still have to do something with my life. What else this life has to offer? You will enter the stage of openness towards what other opportunities are there for you. Maybe you will start exploring different connections, but most importantly, you will start discovering yourself, because all of this attention that you tended to pay towards someone who is not available, and just running away. You can withdraw this energy and just start discovering yourself, work with yourself, and also learning about yourself. So that's a very precious moment, because it's you're kind of opening up for the world, and there is no cage, there is no chains that are binding you. You are free, and you're able to experience anything that you wanted to experience and didn't have a chance because maybe there was some relationship that was you were involved with and there was not enough freedom. So you're entering this very beautiful stage that you're getting redirected towards not focusing on person, focus on yourself and everything around. Don't worry about something that is not working. Try to see the ways that are working and what can you do with that, and what are other opportunities. So this is really the kind of opening up into the whole spectrum of experiences right now. Instead of having this one painful separation incident that is happening in your life, you can have different experiences, but you just really have to change your focus, change your direction. So this is like of course everything is orchestrated, because if something is not working, that means that 10 different things could work for you. So it's just up to you to make this decision, but just really get more active on your journey. Another advice would be to try to discover your inner masculine powers and put that masculine perspective into your experience. We all know that we have those masculine and feminine energies inside, and the part that is responsible for being more courageous and standing in our own powers, it's a masculine power. So don't be afraid to maybe work on your masculine side. Maybe that's something that is missing. Maybe you're afraid of being abandoned because you don't know how you can manage in the world if you're on your own. So by bringing more this masculine perspective and your inner powers, you can empower yourself. You can be more open towards the world, and you will take responsibility for your journey. You won't be asking someone else to make a choice for you. You won't be waiting for someone else's choice, but it's going to be your choice to move forward. So you're changing this passive sitting and waiting for someone else define the course of your life and your journey. You're the one who's giving the direction where to go next. Reminder towards this still grieving process is give yourself enough time before you go out to the world. Make sure you've gave yourself enough time to grieve the connection properly. Don't abandon any negative feelings. Maybe if it helps you, you can journal. Just really analyze what's going in your head and all the emotions that are speaking to you because of this separation, because of this painful experience. But be very specific with analyzing what you're feeling, and if that's really abandonment, what is it that you feel? Is it a pain because someone broke your trust? All of that, give it a thought, and really don't be afraid to put it on a paper to allow it to get out of you and your system, because that's going to be very purifying and clarifying. There was a specific question that was, what is the point of this entire experience if it's ending so painfully? And all I can say that this experience is never finished. The ignition and this first initial separation is just the beginning. You're getting tested. You're in this very preparatory stage towards your further soul evolution. So the more work you will do at this beginning stage, when you're getting all this space for yourself and time for yourself, that you're really having time to fill your cup, it's gonna be way easier for you afterwards, once you will start experiencing another connections, or maybe the same connection but coming after certain period of time. But it's really for you to be prepared and know what is coming, because this is a process, and of course evolution will want you to grow. So once you do certain amount of work and you're ready, you've rebuilt your masculine and feminine sides, and you become more unified, there will be other connections that will be coming to your life to bring yourself even higher. So what was the point of that? The point of that was just give you the whole spectrum of the experience, both super high and those bubble of phase and butterflies, but also the lowest point, that is this painful separation and sense of losing something. Because trust me, you cannot get the idea, or you cannot understand the price of the true love unless you lose it. And that's just how the life is, because the next time when it happens, you will be really striving to make it happen. You will be very cautious, you will be very respectful towards the connection, and you will do anything not to lose it again. So it changes your whole perspective. You stop taking things for granted, you stop taking people for granted. You're analyzing all your actions, and you know that you're responsible for your actions, because there are always effects to those actions. So this is a very humbling experience and part of the journey, in which you learn that whatever you do to another person has implications, and there is always effects of those actions. So this is also a beautiful lesson of accountability and respect towards other person. But again, sometimes we just have to go through this very painful phase in which we lost something, definitely, and accept that, and just be able to live with that, and just give yourself another chances in the future. And maybe to close up, those soul connections are not only butterflies and rainbows and unicorns. They can get nasty, they can get uncomfortable once you start working on your shadow sides. And believe me that the union and just getting even into balanced connection is not the end goal. It's really, that's when things are started to be more serious. Once you enter into connection with someone that it's conscious enough to bring it to this open level of constant flow of third energy, and this third energy is involved, it can bring about the worst things in you, and it gets very uncomfortable, and you have to be very, very strong, and your connection has to be very strong in order to sustain that, if in order to be able to communicate properly, to understand both sides, to still communicate respectfully despite those uncomfortable talks. It's very difficult to manage those situations sometimes, and take this part very seriously, because it's not as easy as it may seem, that once you unify your energies and you're balanced, everything will be smooth. It will be roller coaster, because it's meant to trigger all of those deep shadows within you, so you can heal and you can reach the next stage. But the whole point of the soul connections, it's to become aware enough that it takes two to build a strong and proper connection. And you will always need to choose yourself and your partner, to choose each other despite those challenges and difficulties. And you will be tested. You will be asked, do you still want to continue? It's painful. It's uncomfortable. Those all the shadow sides are coming out, and you're entering those lower states of your existence, and you're still gonna be asked, do you still want to continue with this person? And it really takes a lot of preparation to be strong enough to still choose each other and continue the journey together, although it can be difficult, painful, very confusing. But still, there is this little light that connects both individuals, and this is this third energy that was created within the unified field of both. So this is this big picture that really you have to work towards. Just put in your head and see that separation is just a preparation for you. This is just a training. How are you gonna manage those uncomfortable situations? Because trust me, even if you will have a stable connection, you will still feel separations. I still feel them on energetic levels, and they are still puzzling to me why it happens. That we can have perfect communications and one layer will be completely disconnected. And you have to be very strong in order to maintain the clean mind, and also to like manage the emotions that are flowing through in those moments. So I hope that answered the questions and clarified my perspective and provided you with some tips how to tackle this phase. And just to remember, the pain, it's just one emotion that you can experience in this journey. So don't put it aside, don't neglect it, and don't try to wait it out, because anything that you try to wait out, it you will just bury it deeper, but it will come to the surface but 3 times stronger. And at the same time, any emotions that is not properly processed can cause you trauma in the future, at the same time delaying your spiritual evolution. So good luck with your journeys. Let me know in the comments if you want me to talk about something specific, and see you next time. Take care.